His craze in digital modes actually it's gotten so crazy that JT65 isn't being used anymore. Hardly anybody uses it. JT9 is not being used anymore hardly for EMEs. Everybody's been switching to FT-8.
Is it faster?
It's faster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very quick. The program I'm going to be using is WSJTX, which is the one that actually uses FT-8. There's a couple of ones out there, but none of them support FT-8. Plus a new beta version coming out. I'll show you that at the end here real quick. The basics FT-8, developed by Steve Frank and Joe Taylor. Frank Taylor, FT. It uses a single occupies 50 hertz, and it's an 8 frequency shift key format, which is about a third the size of JT65, so it's really, really tight. The reason why it goes so fast is how many characters this sends out to make one letter. Each transmission lasts about 15 seconds. So when you send out CQ, it takes 15 seconds to send. You receive for 15 seconds, and hopefully something comes back to you. If not, you'll transmit again your CQ again. And then if they come back to you, you make your queue, so it takes about a minute and a half to make a full queue. So basically a minute, it takes about a minute and a half. By the time you get down with the 7.3s and everything. There's some sequence features in here called auto sequencing, which you'll definitely want to turn on if you're using this mode because there's about 1.5 seconds pause between transmitting and receiving. So when you see the people CQing up there, by the time you hit the button to go back to them, you've already been in transmitting mode again already. So there's a special feature in which will make it automatically camp for you. I'll show you how that works. Biggest advantages: short transmit receive cycle. We'll go down to 20 dB. So if you're doing JT65 or FT-8, that went down to 20 dB native. No one's send the noise, you can't even hear the signals, and you just still pull them out. It's so robust. Like I say, the contacts are a lot faster. JT65 was 45 seconds to 50 seconds per transmission per receive. This is 15 seconds, so you cut down to about a fourth. They're used now for EME, Earth communications, or moon bouncing, satellite communication, because it's so fast you get more contacts in a short amount of time as you would use in other digital modes. And since it goes down such a low dB and gets you into the noise, you can make contacts even when you can't even hear them anymore. So it's really, really nice. Easy to set up. This is the main set screen right here. You put your call sign in, your grid square. So by the way, everything else will leave the default on the first screen. I'm using Hammer Radio Deluxe, and the new version of Hammer Deluxe that just came out actually supports this now. I'm using the programming interface, I'll show you that. For your rig setup, put in Hammer Radio Deluxe. If you're using Hammer Radio Deluxe for your program, you can put that in there. Otherwise, you do the drop down. Just like the radio you're using for your sound card. If you're using a 7300, IC 7300 ICOM, this actually lets you select that. Use the USB built-in sound card that's in that radio. I use an ICOM 718. Doesn't have anything in it at all, so I think I use the sound card.
You have the 718, but you're using Ham Radio Deluxe to control it then, right? Is that what
Yep.
Okay, I was reading an article. I was confused. What is it? Do you have to have something to control the radio? That's the way I understood it. But
For this, you do. Because
Okay.
it does your frequency change and everything. For
okay,
you.
you do. Okay.
If you manually do your frequencies, then you just need a sound card, with like a signal link.
Yeah.
You got just signal
I've
link,
got one.
you can use just that. That'll interface to your radio for transmitting and receiving. If you want to control your radio with your computer, then you have to have the interface, which is like $20 for the cable.
But you don't have to control it with your computer.
No. You do not have
Just
that.
point it towards that signal link and.
Yep.
Oh.
Computer
Okay.
signal link has your signal link. It's considered a USB device. It uses a codec called USB codec.
Okay.
So these are the two settings for your signal link. That controls transmit and receive.
Okay. I'll have to explore a little bit further.
Yeah.
So the computer sees the signal link as a different sound card.
Correct.
So you can set it up independent of your computer.
In Windows 10 and Windows 7, you actually select it as a primary and secondary sound card. So it'll transmit through this output, the USB output device. When you're using signal link, HRD, and you use your regular speakers for like YouTube or whatever else you're doing, you can actually have it set up that way.
Okay.
Which is a nice feature that's been in Windows 7 and Windows 10. But going back to this area, you can select your radio, put your pull down, if you've got an interface for your radio. And I'm using HRD for my interface because I've got a cable plugged into it and use it. And I use the free version because my radio's so old. I don't have to buy the new version. And that, all there is to setting it up. It's that easy.
Are the sound card signal levels in Windows in particular like they seem to be in like?
Not too bad. You can turn the volume up and down on your signal line. You've got the volume control on there for your transmitting and receive.
Yep, you don't have to mess around a whole lot with the settings inside Windows.
No, mine are all just default
Okay.
settings, yep. You can change your colors. I use my default, but you can change, like whenever you get a QSO comes in, it can be like red, so it shows when red is a QSO coming in, so you know somebody's calling you. Green or blue for when you've already made contact with. So you can change, like you want to change those things. The other ones, reporting frequencies in advance, I never even touch them, they're just all separate default because it's already preset for all the frequencies that they use. Most FT-8 signals are on the 74 megahertz, so like 14174 or 14074, 7.074 on the upper sideband, of course.
It's all the same places where JT65 is that, right?
J65 was on 7.6.
Oh,
Yep. And so they dropped down to 7.4, and then, of course, PSK is on the 70s. We're doing PSK and stuff like that in reading. So, they moved around a little bit. And there's also a new version out now, some beta test, which I've been testing the last couple of weeks. I got a video of that, but I haven't got a demo of that. I want a video of how that works. It's a new chat mode using this, which is pretty cool. You get two screens. This is your waterfall screen. It shows you all the contacts. I mean, everything between the lines is 15 seconds. So there's like 3.5 minutes in here, 4 minutes in there. Each one of those little blocks right there is a person transmitting or receiving. That's the top part of the screen, the bottom part. You can move them anywhere you want. You have them side by side, up and down. So this is your waterfall. And this down here shows you the signal strength coming in across the noise floor. And some of them, like this one right here, just below the noise floor, it's actually a dip and not a vertical line, but it still comes in because it works up to negative 20 dB, which is pretty sweet. So even things you can't even see or hear come through on this, and you can broadcast and receive and transmit to. And by the way, I use 15 watts. On every 80 meters through 10 meters, I use 15 watts for transmit power. If you go up to more 50 or 60 or 70 watts, it starts distorting your digital signal. Makes it distorted so that it's not receivable. So you always want to keep your power down to 50 watts or less. Anything above that makes anything. Yeah, you can use 5 watts too. This is the bottom part of the screen. And this is everything coming in 15-second increments. So it will tell you what frequency, what band out. This is 80 meters. It gives you the time they came in, their signal strength, negative 15 dB all the way down to 20 dB below. Their call sign. Anything in green, anything in green is somebody calling CQ. So when you see a green line, that's somebody calling CQ out there. White is communication already going on currently. So you've got looks like YE or something. Canada or somebody else.
Switch.
Yeah, Canada, somebody else are actually talking there.
Probably.
Oh, really?
whoa.
But not watched out so much.
Yeah. So these are actually communications going on currently. Here's somebody giving YE1 a negative 22 report, with 22 dB below the noise floor, and it's still paying in. Give them a single report. And there goes our projector again.
Dang, what is wrong with the projectors here?
Okay, on the bottom of the screen down here, this whole section right in here, this is all default when you fire up to, nothing's check marked. But this is your auto call and your first call. The auto sequence is a thing you need to check mark for sure for doing FT-8. What that does is when somebody calls you, does a CQ, and they come back to you, automatically starts doing replies. So if you do a CQ and somebody comes back to you with their call sign, they'll send them their signal report. Then it waits for them to send them your signal report. Then it sends the received signal. Waits for them to send their received signal in 7.3s and does it back automatically. No
Is
other
this
time.
through HRD?
This is through the program. This is through WSJT.
Oh, okay.
Does it log it
That
for you
part.
then too, like in a log file or
This will
something?
not log. You have to actually click on the log button to log it.
And that's through HRD, what you're using for logging.
Yeah, if you click the log call, you get the log call and it walks right to HRD for you.
If I'm not mistaken though, well, you do have to click the log button, doesn't it usually come up with a window saying with the specifics of the contact, you just click the log button?
You'll see it,
Yeah,
It'll pop
okay.
up.
So it gives you all the information, you just have to
All
manually click
sequence
it.
is very important if you're using FT-8. JT65, not so much, because you've got like 5 or 6 seconds between transmitting and receiving. With this, you got 1.5 seconds. Unless you're really fast with that mouse to kick it before you start transmitting again, you need to have that turned on. It's what they're called first call. That's important. And actually, in my demo, you'll see I get 2 people calling me at the same time. We'll take the first person that calls you and go back to that first person that calls you. So, those 2 are pretty important to have those checked on. I didn't mark this here. This is called transfer even and first. That's check marked as even right now. So I transfer on the even minutes. So I transfer at the top of the hour and then at 30 seconds after that the evens receive on the 15 after and 45 after, or 15 till. And if you uncheck mark it, then you transfer on the odds. You transfer at 15 after and 15 till.
So that means any communication is with somebody that's the opposite time frame?
You can probably get, you might have 30 people on the evens that you're talking to.
Mhm.
You done got all of them, you're like, oh, nobody's come back to me. Switch it to the other one, you get different people on the other side.
As
So
long as
like,
they
so
don't
like,
switch, huh?
sort of like Rob's favorite DMR stuff, where you got 2 channels. You got like A and B, and you go back and forth between the 2. Works the same way.
It's not that bad.
So after you get everything set up, you get it fired up, everything's working, you're on the frequency. You can select the frequency on, well, I cut it off on the side here, you can select what band you're on. I did 80 meters. First you just click on CQ, it populates CQ, your call sign and population location, which is EN50. Once you do that, you click on transmit. And then at the even minute, top of the minute or 30 after, it'll start transmitting your CQ signal on.
I have a quick question. So whenever you enable the transmit, if somebody comes back to you, does it automatically halt the transmission until you're done with it?
If you have the auto sequence turned on, it does everything for you automatically. When your CQ is done, you do 7/3s, it stops. You got to click transmit again to start up again. Unless you're using a program called JT. I don't know what it's called. There's a program you call that actually you can have it all set up so you can actually leave your computer running and leave your computer or your radio on all day long and it'll do it for you automatically.
Yeah, I think I've seen some guys online that looks like they must be doing that, because you watch their DX spotting thing on the spotting places, and you see them, they're like every other.
We're on the constantly. Yeah, there's a program out there, JT Watch, something else that'll actually do all the for you. It actually will log your calls, hits the transmit for you again, and goes all day. You can be at work and have it making calls for you all day long.
Well, that's cheating,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
but you do it right.
Yep.
He comes home, oh, I got Hawaii
Actually, I know.
here.
Actually,
300 countries.
I remoted my computer from work, and then my computer set up on radio so I can do it from work.
Got the Pitcairn Islands today.
Remote desktop.
Eddie B. Proctor calls it computer issues.
Okay, hit the lights again, Rob, please.
It's been just about long enough for that thing to shut off, right?
Yeah, that'd be about right. We'll let you though still, just because we love you.
Everybody remember that screen.
So this is what it looks like brought up. I'm on 80 meters, and you select the radio, select what band you want to use, and I'll make sure if you have your radio set up, plug in your computer where it actually controls your radio, you can change frequencies right here. Off to the far right, you can change the transmitting power, which I don't use that. I've got it set on my radio. I just turn my radio down. On a 718 icon, to use these programs, you have to actually turn the modulation off for your microphone. So you have to go into the setup program, turn your audio all the way off, and turn compression off. You don't use any compression either, because compression screws up your transmission as well. So compression off and the audio off, at least on my radio. Some of you don't do it at all. On mine you have to. So one minute I just got to turn my volume down, so they're coming power down at the same time.
So you have to turn the microphone off completely.
Yep. Otherwise, your voice service in your house will block.
Oh, because it's doing Vox. Is that right?
Yep. So I don't use this power control here. I use it to control my radio, to control my power. And this is what it sounds like. The episodes are at full blast, so that's all audio speakers are gonna get for that. And the first thing you wanna do is you wanna click on CQ, which will bring up my call sign. And then enable transmit. And then, and this is on the out right now, so we'll transmit the next time around. So that's me, there's no noise when I'm transmitting now, so. If you notice, there's like no time delay at all between transmitting and receiving, there's like 1.5 seconds. So unless you're really fast with the mouse, you gotta use this auto sequence selection down here.
So once you set it up, you really don't have to even touch it.
Nope, just to hit the transmit button and to log your calls, which is log piece right here. This is my second time calling out. So nobody came back the first time, so I'm calling CQ a second time around. I think I get a couple come back this time or one.
So are you actually working your radio right now?
No, I have a screen capture. I can record my screens on my computer. This
Okay.
this is me working at home 2 nights ago.
Okay, well, because you had said you could remote in, so
I
I
can
don't know.
record, yeah, I can. Okay, you pause it real quick. So I called CQ twice. My transmissions show up over here. Everything transmitted will show up on this side over here in yellow. Anybody who comes back to your call sign comes back in red. These are the default colors, by the way. You can change if you want to change them. So this person here came back to me, and with the auto sequencer on, I don't touch anything. It automatically sends back the signal report. So he's getting a signal report from me right now. And you can't hear because there's no audio transmission, of course. And some people don't use that, and you can tell the ones that don't use this auto sequence thing right here, because you can send them signal report 2 or 3 times, and they finally send you theirs. So it's like, you know, by the time you get to the mouse, hit the button, you receive twice before they send it to you. And the same thing on everything else. So he sent me my signal report. I'm sending him a received report. And he'll probably send me 7 threes, and I'll send him 7 threes at the end of the communication.
So when he says 7.3, is that when you push your log keystone in?
Nope, I send my 7 threes back to him. 7 threes completes communication. And some people don't even do that. They'll do an RRR and they're gone. You never get a 7 threes out of anybody sometimes. They just want to save 30 seconds and not do it at all. So this is a complete report. I called CQ, he came back, gave him a signal report, gave me mine, told him I received it, 7 threes both ways. Then of course you log the call. That's what that was, the top of logging the call.
Okay.
And then-
Oh, shit.
This has got to be an odd situation because there's no way they let it do that through their training sessions.
Oh, they don't have that many here anymore.
What's that?
The Red Cross.
Red Cross training sessions, they don't have many of them here anymore.
I used to make it a problem.
They still do occasionally, but I've never, in all the classes I've had here, I've never had a problem with using that. It could just be getting old.
So I sent CQ on again, see if I get any more people come back to me at all. And pause it there. 2 people came back. So I called CQ and 2 people came back at the same time. So how do I know who to select? I don't worry about it. I got that check mark down here that says first contact. So it takes the very first person, CQ, which is the top person right there. That should go back to automatically for you. So automatically goes back to the first person who pops up on your CQ chart right there.
So in his transmission there, the first one, did he give his location to in terms of grid square?
Yeah, they all do. That's
Yeah,
what,
okay.
it's hard to see it today, but
Yeah.
Grid Square is right after Everybody who CQs come back to you has got the grid square cap on that at the end of their call sign.
So what's the white one then?
White ones are ongoing queues, those are active.
We'll go over on the right side.
That's somebody else that's doing the CQ. I'm on a, let me pause this. This waterfall up here, the red is where you're transmitting, and the green, which is right there, is where I'm receiving at.
So you're transmitting on the same frequency.
I'm transmitting on a locked frequency. I've got my frequency locked for transmitting. Always transmit the same frequency all the time, but you receive a bounce back and forth depending on who you're receiving from. And it happens to be this guy here is on the same frequency that this guy, the other guy's on, both on the same frequency, so I'm transmitting. You can have three people on the same frequency, still transmit, it'll pull all three or four men. So he did a, he sent the signal report and R at the same time. So that was a 45-second QSO. Because he did all of it with one big lump. But you can set these up. These are all changed. You can change these to have anything you want. They're all just like macros. You can go into your A1 setting and change all these to be different things. You have to do a CQDX, CQHI, trying to find Hawaii stations. Anything you want to have, you have to set in there on these functions. That's what it looks like running. Very fast. You can get about 45 to 50 QSOs an hour.
So how do you respond to somebody? Like, if they're calling CQ, how do you respond to them?
You just use your mouse, double click on them on this side over here.
Oh,
So like this guy calling CQ, you just double click on the mouse and it'll pop over here.
oh, okay.
And then your next time you transmit, it'll transmit to him. So yeah, if you're trying to find like DX stations or transmitting CQ and their DX stations, just double click on them, and it pops them over here and takes you to their frequency and you transfer on their frequency.
Does it wait for the next time sequence to do that?
It'll transfer on the next time sequence, correct. Yep. Unless you're really, really fast on the mouse and get it before it starts transmitting. So that's what it looks like.
Do you still find that you need to have a separate program to update Windows time to make sure it has to be super accurate?
I do.
Okay.
I've got it's a atomic clock program. You just double click on update now.
Yeah.
Turn it off.
I can't remember what I
don't do
used.
it very often, once every couple of weeks. Timing on this is very, very critical, and it's real because you're doing 15-second time increments. So if you don't broadcast right at the top of the minute, or 15 after, or 30 after, or 15 till, your transmission only going to be part of your transmission because you're missing the start and the end time. You might transmit over, if you're 2 seconds off or 3 seconds off, you're 3 seconds into the person receiving now, or 3 seconds into his transmission. So timing is very, very crucial on this, on how it's set up.
I found a program, I don't know. It was actually a website I was trying to learn about JT8 on, and they had a place where you could actually check the accuracy of your clock on your thing. And I went and got the software to get my clock synchronized, and it still found out that I was like 0.5 seconds or half a second off or something. Then I found this program that it's called something Nudge. I loaded that, and you can nudge your clock forward how many increments of seconds that you want to get it exactly on time.
Yep.
I don't know how long that lasts good, but
I do about once every couple of weeks, and it seems to be fine. It does have a power outage, but then I always, whenever I get back up from power outage, I reset it real quick. So clinic beta testing, FT-8 call. I've used this a few times. It's very bizarre, very weird, kind of cool. When you do an FT-8, JT65, or JT9, 13 characters is the maximum amount of characters you can use on a call. Okay? I mean, if I go back, I'll show you what that is. Down here, you can type in free text. So instead of doing just doing your default, CQDX, your call sign or whatever, you actually type in free text down if you want to. So you can type in CQ, HI, WAS, and your call sign, because you're trying to find Hawaii to get your worked off states. So you type in there, and then you check mark that box when you do your transmission. That's what goes out. 13 characters max. That's all you get for 15 seconds. Or 45 seconds on JT.
About 140-second Twitter.
That's right. So what they've done now is They got a thing called FT-8 call. Same program. It's got a beta version out there you can download. And you can type in messages up to 256 characters long. Okay? And here's the catch. 13 characters per 15 seconds. So, if you type in 256 character message to somebody, it's going to take you a few minutes to transmit that message because you're only doing 13 characters every 15 seconds. But that's in beta testing. And
So you get 13 characters in 15 seconds, and then there's a 15-second wait before the next.
then you transmit another 13 characters.
So it's really 13 every 30 seconds.
And I'll show you how that works. And this is really loud too.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and fans to the channel, you're watching Ham Radio Concepts. And what I'm about to show you is a presentation on what is probably the most catastrophic advancement to ham radio that we know of. That's right. Imagine keyboard to keyboard
This is the greatest disaster
on
ever.
FT-8, and the new mode is FT-8 call. Let's check it out. Wave of digital mode call here. KN4
Radio videos.
Jordan Shear, KN4CRD, has taken what I like about FT-8 mode and what I can't stand about FT-8 mode and has put them together, shook it around, did some encoding, and came out with this next generation wave of digital mode called FT-8 call. Next generation, but why am I making such a big deal of that? Eric, why are you being so dramatic? Well, if you haven't figured out yet, let's go back to FT-8, okay? If you haven't figured out yet, FT-8 has ruled the airwaves on ham radio. And that's not what I'm just saying. That is a proven fact that more than 50% of the people watching my video right now are using nothing but FT-8. That's a fact. In fact, I'm going to go right now and look at PSK Reporter, and we're going to show you what kind of impact FT-8 has on a daily, even in the last 15 minutes. Let's check it out. We're going to look at PSK Reporter down in.
Anytime you want.
I have a video on this as well to show you how this site is and what you can do with it. So I'm going to filter real quick. On all bands, I want to show the signals sent and received by anyone using FT-8 in the last 15 minutes. And let's look at this. Whoa! It looks like a rainbow here. We got colors everywhere. There's your DX. There's your DX right there. Your DX is on FT-8, apparently. Your DX is on FT-8. That's why you can't find DX on phone, because they're all here on FT-8. But
If the cycles are right and then DX is flowing really big time, when you get those 50 or 20 DX calls or CQ calls on the left side of your screen on FT-8, it'll scroll sometimes 2 pages long. Really? It'll scroll up to 2 pages. You can't see everybody on there because it's just 7 people on there at one time.
Wow.
It's that bad. It's just amazing. Seconds to transmit it. 15 seconds for the first 13 characters. Wait for receive. The next 13 characters for the next 15 seconds. And then as they're receiving it, we'll get that message completed on their side. They can type something back on their keyboard and send it back to you, and you wait the same amount of time. I've done six of those in the last couple weeks. It's cool, but but it is nice. You can talk to people that you can't even hear them off there. They're below the noise floor. No signal at all, and you still talk to them. So it's got advantages. 15 watts on a battery outside in the middle of winter time, with no power, and make communication calls to somebody around the world. Not worried about it.
Now, the one that Patrick, W9GLO, was talking about is JS8 call, right? Or was it the same thing?
FT-8 call.
I'd remember it being FT-8 call.
Yeah, there's no JT65 call like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, the FT-8 is probably the biggest thing out there, and if you go to that band, it's always busy. 20 meters and 40 meters are always rolling, and 80 meters when 6 o'clock rolls around, it's pretty much solid, non-stop for hours.
That's one way to get around a solar minimum.
That's what I was thinking. That's probably the motivation here.
It does. It works. You don't have to. I mean, it can be totally dead out there, and you still make contacts. I can log Well, last month I logged 485 calls in FT-8. You know, I was on vacation for a week, sick for a week and a half, and working the other week. So yeah, you can still make tons of calls on there. A lot of DX calls, make a lot of DX calls. Even when you call them nothing else on voice mode, digital still breaks through the signal. It's pretty amazing. So,
Cool.
anything else? Alrighty, that'd be. Projector work.
Okay,
I would show you
Matt.
that.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.